Good Friday morning, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm with a video blog for you as we get set for Today is the Day. Our winter storm arrives with huge changes in the temperature department. We're going to have a variety of precipitation types to contend with, and we just have to hunker down and get ready for a pretty healthy winter storm with slick travel expected from roughly mid-afternoon into much of tonight and first thing tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. This is the radar composite across the region. And we're in a little bit of a lull from the rain right now. Of course, it's been a pretty soggy 24 hours. Even some flood advisories and flood warnings issued since last evening across the region, with upwards of an inch worth of rain and some ice jam flooding concerns around the rivers. But we're in a lull right now. Rain chances will increase again as we go towards lunchtime today and our cold front approaches. Now, behind the front, let me stop the animation here. Behind the front, or near the front, of course, conditions are going downhill out in Indiana, heading down the Ohio River, and then up into Chicago. We've got snow to contend with. And the temperature difference, I mean, this is one heck of a front. The temperature difference on the other side of the front is just amazing. Let me actually put a loop on this, and we'll watch this cold air advancing east. We'll wait for it to load up here, but you can see this cold air oozing east, and you know it's basically almost a 30-degree temperature drop once the front moves through. We have 59 right now in the Zanesville area, and then out towards the Indiana-Ohio border, it's close to freezing. So almost a 30-degree drop once the front rolls through your location, and this is what we will have later on this morning and early on this afternoon. So let's get right to some of the modeling here and walk you through this. Not much has changed with our thinking since last evening. If you followed my posts last evening, if you watched my forecast on 21 News at 6 and 11, and Jess's forecast this morning on WFMJ Today, you know, our overall thinking hasn't really changed much as far as timing, impacts, amounts. It all is fairly consistent with rain returning later on this morning, and then we'll see that transition with temperatures dropping to 32 and then below 32. We'll see that transition early in the afternoon from rain to freezing rain. This is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and the purple color, that's what we don't want to see. That's freezing rain. And this will be pushing in, say, between 1 and 3 p.m. on average. Now, it's not going to turn instantly icy. It's not going to go from just wet to just a sheet of ice instantly. It's going to be it's going to take some time. It's going to be a process. But road conditions can start to get a little bit tricky, especially at first on bridges and overpasses as we go into the afternoon. Now, by early evening, right around sunset, say 5, 6 o'clock, our freezing rain is probably starting to mix with and even change over to sleet, which is more ice pellets that can bounce off things, and they don't necessarily stick to things and make everything a sheet of ice. We prefer sleet to freezing rain, and that transition will probably occur 5 to 7 p.m. on average. Just whether it's freezing rain or sleet, just plan on a slower than average trip around the region later on today. There's a good reason why the schools are dismissing early today. Now, the transition to snow will then take place mid-evening. This is 7 o'clock, already probably starting to snow in Trumbull County, parts of Mercer County, maybe the western part of Mahoning County. And by 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, by 9 o'clock, I think it's snowing everywhere, really. This transition occurs from northwest to southeast, and by 9 o'clock, even in southeastern Columbiana County, we're probably starting to see some snow. Now, once it starts snowing, it's going to snow hard for a handful of hours. This is going to make travel conditions very treacherous. You know, it's a Friday night. Most people don't have to be on the roads, but if you work second shift or third shift, or if you do need to be out traveling, and this includes myself, I get off work at 11:30 p.m. and it's not going to be much fun. So if you're like me and you have to be out, just be prepared for slow travel with snow-packed roads and tough visibility as well. But if you don't have to be out, just good night to stay in, because this is going to be gone by Saturday morning. If you can ride this out Friday night, we'll be shoveling and digging out Saturday morning, but nothing will be falling from the sky after about sunrise on Saturday morning. This is 7 in the morning on Saturday. The snow's gone. And once the road crews catch up, Saturday will be fine. Now, it's going to be windy and cold, but it's not going to be a day where we have to contend with additional snowfall. Times of clouds, sunshine, maybe stray afternoon flurry if the model has the right idea here with some sort of, looks like it almost has a Lake Huron lake effect band connection. Not sure if that's the right idea, but nonetheless, most of Saturday will be just fine. All right, here's one of our computer models. This is the European model based on a 15 to 1 snow to liquid ratio. I think the ratios will be higher than the usual 10 to 1 with this, probably closer to 15 to 1. This is its snow accumulation idea. Now, some of these totals are probably too high, particularly in southwestern PA. But around and east of I-79 in western PA, and especially over towards Clarion and Franklin and Oil City, and then heading up towards Bradford, PA, and up into southwest New York, I think these amounts are in the ballpark. You know, we're probably talking some double-digit amounts. Locally, our forecast seems to be in pretty good shape. I think a lot of us will be somewhere between 4 and 8 inches. Probably want to emphasize closer to the 8 than the 4 in a lot of places, particularly, say, east of Route 11. Here's our snow map that I put out last night, and again, I don't see much reason to really change the ideas here this morning. A big area of 4 to 8. Amounts get higher as you go east on I-80 into west central PA, kind of a zoomed in view of our snow map. Again, this is the WFMJ viewing area, but if you have interest in Akron and Canton, Cleveland, they're kind of in the same boat as us. Roughly 4 to 8 inches. And again, I would emphasize the 8 over the 4, especially from, say, Youngstown on east. I think 4 is pretty much in the bag in a lot of places. Pretty easy to achieve that 4-inch mark, whereas 8 inches will probably be the top end of the range for a lot of people. Some double-digit amounts, though, I can't rule it out. You know, it may not be a huge chance of seeing double digits, but there's at least a modest chance of seeing 10 inches or so, maybe over towards I-79 in western PA. All right, so that's what we know this morning. Big changes are ahead. Our forecast really hasn't changed much. Storm Tracker 21 app, hour-by-hour forecast. You can see the temperature each hour, the type of precipitation to expect in your location each hour. We'll be doing some short videos on the app today and keeping you updated throughout the day. And of course, you can check out all my updates on social media, including Twitter. I'm Eric WFMJ on Twitter. Have a great day, everyone, and I will see you this evening on 21 News at 6 and 11.